In realms long forgotten, there are tales of the Forest Kingdom, a place of honour and chivalry, known to some as the Land of the Purple Dragon, but known to all as Cormyr.
Hi, I'm Theoda, and I'm playing Hiram, a half-orc paladin.
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm playing Cassie Donahue, human bard.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Badger, a forest gnome monk.
Hi, my name is Anton, and I play Balthazar, a Warforged Cleric of Azuth.
Hi, my name is Elle, and I'm playing Slate, a changeling druid.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm playing Zumbo, who is a halfling rogue/warlock.
And my name is Dan. I shall be the Dungeon Master on this adventure. Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
How are we all doing?
Yeah, doing good.
Pretty good, yeah?
Cool, in which case, let us begin. Loyalty is one of the strongest bonds of commitment, so much so that the nation of Cormyr prides her very foundation upon it. Oaths and deeds in the name of loyalty reverberate through the history of the Forest Kingdom, becoming tales of unearthly valor and duty to be remembered by all. This is why, however, divided loyalty poses such a threat. Rhaedra's abdication from the throne of Cormyr, whispered to be part of some nefarious scheme by her successor, has left the nation divided. Those who have willingly taken up arms in Rhaedra's name have been branded separatists and traitors by King Ezered, with his royal decreed punishment for association with these Rhaedrans being uncharacteristically severe. As tension between the Rhaedrans and the Loyalists rise, the opportunity for mercenary work grows greater with every passing day.
And you forgot to mention the Galactic Trade Federations and the blockade.
So, before we get into it,
Oh no.
Balthazar.
Ooh.
You feel this kind of fuzzy-headedness about you as you glance around a dark candle-lit room surrounded by towers of tomes and scrolls. And you know that you've looked through all of these, but perhaps maybe you should look again. As you pull another book open, blow the dust off the cover and pull it open to the first page, you look down and the words just don't make sense, no matter how hard you squint or try to focus on them. And as you turn the pages, just nothing seems to present itself. And you know that the right book is in here somewhere. You know you've seen it, you know you've read it, you know you've experienced it, but you just can't seem to find it. And as you let out a deep puff of breath and turn and look to your right, you see a scroll propped on the edge of the table that's marked the Warforged. And as you reach for it, your eyes flicker and come to life, and you find yourself in an empty bedroom, barren of furniture and decorations. And your wooden joints creak as you raise to a standing position.
Yeah, Balthazar will rub his face. Oh, I didn't sleep so good. And
Okay. And as you kind of exit and follow the gnome's instructions to take the second left, you find yourself on a balcony looking down into the drinking hall, and you can see the other Warhounds already gathered around the table. Mitrofer standing nearby, his booming voice carrying through the hall as he asks them how their rooms were, and if you need any more sausages, please feel free to ask. Claims. Balthazar, what do you do?
Balthazar will go down and join the group.
And yeah, the rest of you, it's difficult not to notice the large shape kind of lumbering towards you. At this point, Balthazar, have you got any equipment with you, like on you?
So I think Balthazar has his staff with like a gem on top, a wooden staff, and probably a shield that was scrounged up from somewhere. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay.
And maybe like a backpack that the gnomes give him.
Okay.
And he'll approach the table and go, morning.
Good morning.
You mind if I sit down?
Of course,
No.
please.
Yeah, pull up a chair.
And I think Balthazar will awkwardly seat himself into a chair.
As you go to sit down, as you put your full weight on this chair, you can hear like the hinges start to groan, and Mitrofer, like you see his eyebrows raise up from behind his glasses, and he just kind of puts a foot against the leg of this chair, and then the groaning stops, almost as if he's propping it up with his toes.
And Balthazar will look at the food arrayed on the table. I suppose if... Oh, I see you've already eaten. I'm not hungry. It's okay.
Don't be silly, boy! There's food for you if you want it!
I guess just some oats then.
Absolutely. And Mitrofer turns to one of the gnomes, and oats for the young man here! And yeah, he watches his name. Okay, yeah, and sort of scurries off into what you assume to be like a kitchen. Mitrofer sort of like gently pulls his foot away, and I'll leave you lot to catch up, but I'll be back soon to carry on what we were talking about, he says, and he sort of like smiles. He gives you this big, broad grin, and his teeth are positively dazzling white. Yeah, he kind of makes his way off to the bar to sort of like to speak to a couple of the other patrons. So, what do you, like, with Balthazar sat down with you, what do you guys do?
I think that Slate would be in Chiron mode at the moment. Chiron
Okay.
works best in the mornings. And I think Chiron would be stuffing himself full of, I don't know, breaded mushrooms and many other delicious treats like that. And halfway through, like, gulps of ale, be looking up at Balthazar like, you drink? Drink at all? And then kind of like peering under the
yeah,
thing.
sure, I drink. Sure.
Mitrofer, and maybe.
Oh,
How-
it's okay.
how big
I'm not thirsty.
Are you sure, Balthazar?
No, it's okay. I'm fine. I
Okay.
usually don't have anything in the mornings.
I get that. Us monks, we're often quite sparing with our food in the mornings. Not me!
And she starts stuffing another sausage in her mouth.
Oh, you're a monk? Oh, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
What order are you from?
Oh, it's a lovely elven order up in the treetops in Semberholm, off east from here. It's called the Elemental Arbor.
Oh, Semberholm.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Do you know Semberholm?
And Balthazar looks confused. I maybe.
Oh, well, it's really lovely. Maybe we'll get to visit it sometime.
Wow, that'd be great. Are you all from Semberholm? Or Cormyr? Or elsewhere?
As
Looks around the
she's
table.
dangling a sausage to Drool, she's like, "No, I'm from Cizale." And she drops the sausage, and Drool just clumps his jaws around it, and then just goes to the floor happy.
Oh, that's a nice dog you have. His name is Drool?
Yes, because it's one of the things he does extremely well.
Oh, Drool. Oh, I get it now. And Chiron, where are you from?
Well, tell you the truth, before I met these fellows, I guess, I hadn't really been much further out than the King's Forest. Well, spent a little time in Cizale, but you know, I'm a Cormyr all my life, really. Mostly the woods, but you know, really, I'm a city person at heart.
Okay.
I stay with my my bare feet up on the table.
And you, Captain?
I'm Cormyr as well, but nothing, nowhere special, just a little farm. So where I'm going that matters. Hey, lad.
You're a farmer?
Nah, my parents were they.
All right. Okay. And Balthazar looks a bit worried. And you hear him? Are you? Where'd you come from?
Oh, I also come from Cizale.
Okay. You're a noble or a soldier?
I am from a noble family, yes. It's complicated.
Okay. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
Oh, it's okay. Just I think we probably should catch you all up on what has been going on with the family, because everyone got involved with that, and it was an adventure.
Oh, family problems. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
That's what families
Silver
are.
Swords do not do anything halfway.
How about you, Balthazar? What I mean, obviously we know your family. Are you Cormyr?
Balthazar will look. Yeah, I'm Cormyr. I'm from around here.
What?
And Balthazar will look at the ground and kind of.
Yeah, anyone who cares to can roll an insight if they wish.
I shall.
Yeah.
In fact, let me
Oh, okay.
do one of
You're gonna do the clever thing.
these.
I'm just gonna straight up roll deception.
I got a 13.
Could you roll? And if I haven't rolled, could you roll for me? Because my boundary's gone a little bit wrong.
Oh, I got a 7. I believe every word you say.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Me too.
Oh, there we go.
Do I roll normal? Balthazar rolled a 2 in deception.
13 on insight.
7.
Slate got a 12.
18.
4 for Zumbo.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's clear to you all that the Balthazar is not being utterly genuine with you. Yeah, he just doesn't really seem to know. And sort of like now that you kind of have the chance to really kind of take it in, now you know there's not 1,001 people from your histories and pasts popping up and saying hello, you kind of really get a chance to look at this thing in front of you. And Balthazar really reminds you of that large Decalco clockwork core juggernaut that attacked you in Suzail a while back. Slightly more modest in terms of size. Doesn't seem a bit smaller. Probably around about 7-ish foot. Doesn't seem to have integrated weapons on the end of his limbs. Seems to have a much more kind of gentle temperament than the clockwork juggernaut you fought on the docks.
Slate straight up thinks this is a baby centurion thing.
Yeah.
So say it again, El?
Slate straight up thinks that Balthazar is a baby centurion kind of thing. Just
Okay.
In early stages. And that's how centurions are made, basically.
Maybe. Balthazar will look at the tables. So, you're all adventurers, right?
Yeah, you could say that. We're with the Warhounds. We've been adventuring for about two months now, and we've had quite the adventure already.
In between swigs of ale and bites of bread and everything, Slate elbows Catcher do the ballad. Oh, I haven't heard that in what, 3-4 days? Go on.
Yeah, I'd be up for hearing that. I need to hear about all these adventures you've been having without me.
Look, there's 2 songs that have been making way around Zale. We have the Ballad of the Warhounds, which is about our adventures in Hullock Forest, and A Silver Sword in the Moonlight, about our adventures saving Hiram's family.
Ooh, that would help to explain that whole thing quite quickly.
Yes, and Catcher picks up her lute. He plucks it, tunes it quickly, and breaks out into singing. Firstly, the Ballad of the Warhounds, and I imagine the bar sort of quietens as she does and listens to the story. And then eventually she does A Silver Sword in the Moonlight when she's done, which is the one she did at the courthouse.
As you're kind of playing through it, Zumbo, roll me a history check just to see if you recognize it. See if you okay. 11, no, that's fine. Yeah, you okay? No, you have heard this, and there's that moment where you kind of go, you've heard it. You didn't realize it was about these guys. So
Yeah.
potentially you really have struck gold in terms of a new crew.
I was probably face down in a tavern somewhere, and through in the haze there was kind of this tune floating around my head.
Yes.
Yeah.
By contrast, Balthazar, when you listen to the lyrics of the song, it's clear that what these lot have done and been through would it's been a big set of activities that they've been up to. No recollection.
Yeah. And
sounds,
at the
sounds nice.
I guess as they reach the end of the song, he'll clap and go, "Wow, you really did all that? I thought you just chased a few bandits away or got rid of some goblins or something, but you guys are the real deal."
Looks can be deceiving.
Oh, I get it. That's funny.
I mean, some of us have died for our adventures and thankfully come back. And she looks over to Emily.
Wait, died? You died?
Emily just shrugs. Yeah, she says, into her bowl of grains and oats.
I think Balthazar will sort of make himself look very small in his seat and sort of try and shrink down.
At which point, you hear excuse me, mind your arm, and this tray with a bowl of oats just kind of gets lifted up by a gnome and bonk, onto the table. And the gnome kind of looks to you, gives you this stoic nod, and like the expression is relatively unreadable behind his goggles. And then the gnome just kind of potters off, and you just watch as this almost like this like wind catcher. It's just like spinning, like, that's mounted on his back, just spins as he walks away.
Balthazar will look at the bowl of oats and
Yes.
look away.
I think there's a point where you might all look at the bowl of oats and then Balthazar's distinct lack of mouth. At this point, Mitrofa comes over and "Eat up, lad!" he says as he claps you on the back and you ring out like a bell. And he turns to you and so I've heard a word, and there is we can definitely sort you out with some work if you're looking for it. In fact, we have a bit of a, I suppose we could almost call him a specialist in that field.
Ooh.
Yes, he's one of our long-term residents, and he specializes in allocating work to anyone who's looking for it. That is work in an appropriate location and grade danger category for those asking. I think it would be really, it would be really worth your while to make some good gold to have a word with him.
You mentioned that they are a long-term resident.
Yes.
Just to make sure it's not Gary, right?
No, it was him, and then things started catching fire, so we kicked him out. No, this is oh, dare I say it, he's an old friend. He's a long-term acquaintance of mine. Met him on a drinking bender in my earlier days. We got on like a house on fire, but he owed me a few favors, so now he helps me out by handing out work opportunities for the adventurers that pass through.
Excellent. Who is it?
Well, you'll know him when you see him. His name's Tarkalon. Tarkalon, yes.
Tarkalon.
Lovely chap.
Ah.
Yeah, yeah, don't. He's friendly. He's more than friendly.
Oh, okay.
Catcher suddenly sort of says, like, anyone else getting worried that the fact he keeps saying he's very friendly a lot? But again, if you look at her mouth doesn't move.
Mitrofa turns to look at you and, whoa! You don't hear that very often.
What don't you hear very often, Mitrofa?
And he points at you, Catcher. Bloody marvelous, he says, and he slams his hand on the table, grins, and Tarkalon, and yeah, he wanders off.
You hear
Catcher
that?
sort of like looks at where he slaps, is like,
You hear?
How was he on about?
You hear that, Catcher? He liked your song earlier.
Oh, okay, that's what he
A
was
sort of
talking
delayed
about.
reaction, clearly.
Clearly, yes.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm a bit surprised after you have kind of indicated you think his friend is gonna be dangerous, but
Catcher looks, he's like,
each their own.
what? What do you
What?
mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
I mean, what do you mean? I didn't say anything.
After
Did
like downing last of the tankard, Chiron slams down and goes, "Oh, I feel like we just finished a whole adventure. I hope this adventure is something like, find the multiplying ale cart. Can we just come on? Let's go find this man, and maybe we need to negotiate more money. I think coin would be good for ale coin. We need more ale."
I mean,
Mitrofa?
also a new new headquarters would be nice.
Oh,
And we need
we
coin
don't-
for that too. Yeah.
And there's also the percentage that that Aradhel takes from us.
Yes,
There is that
despite
too.
not having a headquarters anymore, Aridel is still very much adamant that you need to pay her cut.
Maybe
feel
we
like our
need to go
first quest-
independent.
Yeah, I feel like our first real quest should be trying to get out of the legal loophole that is the
Tell you what, if we could have a whole session of trying to figure out what it would take to get ourselves registered as an independent adventuring organization, and it would turn out to be such a bureaucratic nightmare that we'll just think, okay, it's worth paying Aradel her cut. We just don't want this in our lives.
That
You
is the
say
basis
that, but I think
part.
at this point we are the Warhounds. I mean,
I
so many
mean-
people left.
Aradel should pay us a cut.
Yeah, I didn't hear.
We should get
that
finder's
song.
fees at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Zumbo. She isn't in the song.
No.
Anyway, I say we go and find this very friendly person. Tarkalon, yes. And we'll know him when we see him. Easy.
You will. Okie dokie. So, is there anything else you guys wish to discuss before you go and have your meeting with Tarkalon?
I think
Nope.
Zumbo would want to quickly ask, turn to Slate or Chiron or whatever, because I've seen you transform during the interview a little bit, so I was curious about. Here, Slate, Chiron, whatever. How do you do all those faces? What's going on there?
I'll just go magic.
Well, where do you get them from? Do you just make them up, or are they people you know?
It's been told to me through the scrolls. Actually, I think Badger can do it too, but I think Badger got a bit tired, so Badger's never done it before.
What?
Probably Katja as well. I bet Katja can do it, and probably Hiram. But I don't know about Balthazar. He's kind of new.
So at this point, Zumbo's like, wow, I really lucked out with these guys. They're all shape changes. This is amazing. Best crew ever.
Slate, did I do it and not realise?
Sorry, Hiram. What did you say? Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you did that so well. Tell you the truth, lad. And I turn to Zumbo and just say, and probably one of the most rare examples and finest specimens of a changeling you will ever meet.
Well,
I
that
can be
come in real
beautiful
handy.
and wise.
But not at the same time.
Excellent.
Okay. So yeah, any other business?
Balthazar,
Yeah.
are you ready to become an adventurer?
Yeah. Sure. Let's see what our mission is. Maybe go kick some gnolls, or find a treasure. Something
Sure.
like
Yeah.
that. Why not?
Perhaps, Badger, at this point you start, especially given what he was saying yesterday in the Lovecraft workshop. Like he's talking gnolls, like kobolds, goblins. You start to wonder how kind of proficient he is with, like, what he expects you guys are going to be doing.
Okay. I say, we'll see. We'll see, Balthazar. Yeah, maybe gnolls, maybe something else. We'll see.
And if all goes wrong, you can always just do what I do: stand at the back and just scream encouragement.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
You stay by me, lad. I'll show you the ropes. It's not that hard.
What, like on a ship?
Well, wherever we happen to be, just stick close.
Okay, I've got rope with me, so we're fine.
Yeah, it's just an expression, lad. Don't cling to the rope too much.
Okay, gotcha. All right, let's go.
So, the six of you, Andrew, head over through the archway that Mitchell pointed out, and you can see that there are, like, as you head into the next room, the variety of races that are acting as patrons is just as varied as the first room. You notice over in the kind of middle of the room is a recessed stone ring that's kind of marked out by a fence of like a chain link fence type thing. So it's like a post with a chain that hangs between them. And from the blood stains on the stone floor, you suspect that it's some sort of arena ring of some sort. So perhaps some light entertainment for the patrons. On a nearby, on a chair nearby to this ring, you can see what can only be described as a large humanoid hippo in a highly decorated blue coat with sort of like tassels and various medals hanging from the left lapel. Hanging from his waist is what looks like a saber of some sort, and and this large kind of this flared metal tube with some sort of wooden handle attached to it. It looks like a trigger that's propped up against the chair. But this hippo thing is just kind of leaning back, like the chair is perfectly balanced as he's leaning back, and just like his snores just kind of send vibrations through the air. There's a couple of like knocked over empty flagons of ale on the table next to him.
Guys, I think that creature ate Tarkalon.
As you say the name, you see a number of adventurers kind of wandering past. You can tell they're adventurers from the exotic array of equipment and clothing and like clothing styles that they're adorned with. But you see them walking past with a parchment and going, I don't know if I want to do this. Mating sphinxes. As they pass you, and you notice that they've just kind of come down this spiral staircase from like a small kind of balcony area above you, and you see other adventurers kind of queuing up, waiting, and you kind of have a sneaking suspicion that Tarkalon is up there.
Maybe this guy's just the bouncer.
Maybe.
Is the hippo thing? Is his coat a blue dragon coat?
No, it's similar in style. So actually, it looks very similar to a blue dragon, but he doesn't have any of the blue dragon insignia or anything like that. It also looks like the blue dragon uniforms. Whilst there's a certain amount of show and presentation about them, and they're also kind of practical. This one just looks extremely extravagant and like well decorated. It's almost like a parade uniform, contrasting like his sort of like his white, sheeny white trousers. That's a similar style that you might see like a horse jockey wearing.
Zumbo's probably just gazing at the coat and the medals on it in just like wide-eyed love hearts for his eyes. Just.
So, as you get into queue, it doesn't take all that long before you make it up onto the upstairs balcony. And as you kind of round the top of the curved stairs up, there is I can only expect there is a fleeting moment of unbridled terror. As this broad, red-skinned devil sits in front of you. Large, black horns rising out and back from his head. Wicked sharp claws clacking on the wooden table. These, huge bat-like leathery wings folded round his shoulders like a shawl. And spiked ridges running from the forehead down the back of his head and down his spine to a large swishing tail that kind of knocks a chair next to him, a stool next to him, side to side. And if I could borrow a Arcana check.
Balthazar hides behind Katya.
Can we also get a hottie check, Dan? I don't know how you do it. Every single NPC, look at those arms and the glass. Oh my god, the horns. Badger's a bit hot and bothered right now.
Okay.
We're going to get some fan art, are we?
So
Gonna be some dislikes on this one.
So Katya, you your heart feels like it stops as you look at it, and you kind of scan the features of this creature, and the smell of kind of sulfur and brimstone stinging your nostrils. You, from the looks of it, you realize that this thing, from the stories that you've heard, you're pretty sure this is a pit fiend, one of the dread commanders of the 9 hells.
Oh boy.
And what's more disarming is that as the pit fiend's eyes fixate on you and then narrow, they're slightly distorted by the pair of golden spectacles that balance on its snout.
Katya audibly goes, "What the knife?" But almost at exactly the same time, she says, hello there. Tarkalon, I assume?
The pit fiend mumbles.
Oh my god.
There's almost again to everyone, there's almost this running chorus of Katya going, oh, neath. But at the same time, she's talking. So it kind of gets a bit distracting to everyone. She's like, we were sent because you have some work for Warhounds?
So the pit fiend, as you say, oh, we've got some work for the Warhounds, but you're just having a breakdown in your head. Tarkalon pulls, he sat here kind of with his hands together, and he lets out a sigh, and we can just have this conversation within our heads.
She sort of gets a splitting headache. She says, ow, what's going on?
And you all hear this sort of surprisingly this kind of posh sounding voice ring out in your heads as Tarkalon just kind of looks to you in turn. It is not often that those who seek me out can speak the infernal tongue, so perhaps it is more prudent for us to speak telepathically, so your brains may contemplate the meanings of my words more concisely.
DM Dan?
Yes.
I just out of character. I think Balthazar can actually understand.
Have you got infernal?
I think I did. I think I took it.
Wow.
I was like, this is never going to be useful.
Session 2.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Balthazar is cowering on the ground with his shield raised behind Katya, so he's not really paying attention.
Even Drool's kind of there trying to tuck under your shield, whimpering.
both me and Drool are cowering, is what's happening.
Okay. In which case, as you hear this kind of very posh sounding voice in your heads, Balthazar, you're also hearing the that he's speaking in Infernal as he's also talking telepathically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Balthazar's basically crying at this point.
This pit fiend kind of looks to you, and he sort of like brings the glasses to the end of his snout, and So I understand you are, and he sorts out some folders on his table. The Warhounds, and he
Yes.
very gently opens a folder, and you see in this tome, in this book, and there's pictures, quite accurate pictures of all of you.
Catcher raises a hand.
Yes, dear.
Do we think I'll reply or speak it?
He raises an eyebrow and whatever makes you more comfortable.
Slate also, well, Chiron raises a hand as well.
Yes, sir.
And in head goes, can everyone else hear me? And looks at everyone.
Everyone's looking at you expectantly.
And like
What's
really
happening, Chiron? What were you going to say?
Hang on a second. I just want to do this because I get a free one per day. Suddenly, Catcher looks round and goes. Excuse what's up.
Oh, God,
Detecting thoughts, she suddenly hears Chiron. What's Chiron saying?
just checking to everyone, like just making sure that everyone can, because if we're hearing the pit fiend telling us stuff, I'm wondering if we can converse in this all together, or if we have to like say things out loud and then.
Catcher looks round to Chiron, and she sort of like looks at Chiron and starts squinting, and you hear a reply in your head. Yes, I can hear you. This is amazing. The pit fiend's connecting us all. Badger, can you hear me too?
I think can.
Maybe
No, can I? No, I can't hear what you're saying on a detect thoughts. You can read mine.
But you probably can hear me
I see what you
with
mean.
my telepathy.
Does
So
that
she's
mean
like-
Does that mean I can talk back to you in my head? No.
But she's like, Badger, can you hear me too?
How are you doing that?
How are we?
it's the pit
Think
fiend.
it,
It's the
think
pit
it.
fiend. Just think it, and it will all work out. Just
Will it?
Say it in your head, and do this. This really helps.
The pit fiend Tarkalon looks to you, Badger, and I'm afraid to say that no, that will not help.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I can hear. Anyway, okay, so sorry. Yes. You have work for us, Mr. Pitfiend, sir. I mean, Tarkalon, sir. Mr. Demon, sir. Scary, sir. I mean,
Yeah, but quite possibly, yes. If you could just confirm to me your plane of residence.
a rune?
I'm sorry, what?
Your plane of residence. Where do you come from?
Oh, it's Emberholm.
Zumbo. And you see him thinking that that is Faerun, yes?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
And in which part of Faerun were you most looking for work?
This one? This one, please?
Call me, sir.
Cormyr, very good, very good. And he
Wait,
scratched.
where else can we go? What? We can't just let go of the possibilities. We could go
Ooh.
anywhere.
The Tarkalon looks at you, raises an eyebrow, and he sort of like dips his claw into a vial of ink and then starts scratching notes on your profile, if you will, in his tome. And you
Chiron will peer over at the picture and be like, looking to see who they've gone for.
like in his head, you know, you can hear him going, Faerun, Cormyr. Balthazar, you can hear. And
Well, should it be the other way around, surely? Because I can hear what he's speaking, whereas the others hear his
yeah. Well, no,
Devil
because
voice?
they're so the for you lot, like you can hear this kind of rumbling off in like
So
someone
he
around.
hasn't given me subtitles. He's just I get the direct voice and they get the the ear. Okay.
Well, it's good because you're understanding it. You're kind of getting it in stereo. You know, like when you hear someone like here's if someone's on a call but you're stood next to them and you kind of get that phasing. So you can hear his voice, the posh voice in your head, but you can also understand the infernal coming directly from his mouth. Whereas everyone else you just hear the rumbling and then there's a voice.
Balthazar started looking at the pit fiend from behind his shield, like warily.
Okay, and the pit fiend starts kind of looking around at the various stacks, and you see him kind of looking through scrolls. No, that won't do. No. And he looks to you up and down, looks at the scroll. A Tarask? No, not yet. And he eventually goes, perfect. I have just the job for some adventurers of your caliber. And he takes kind of pulls this scroll out and slides it across the table to you. Forest bandits.
Forest bandits?
Well, yes.
Before we continue, Mr. Tarkalon,
Yes.
I was wondering, depending on where you send us, how easy it is to come back here.
Well,
I assume you can't just use the phrase we have used before, just anywhere in the world.
that is incredibly astute of you, Master Half-Orc. That is in fact correct. Upon the acceptance of one of these jobs, if you speak to one of the gnomes, they will let you leave the World Serpent Inn, and you will appear at the closest tavern to the location of the job with which you have been assigned. Unfortunately, the journey back has to be considerably more manual, and unless you two are blessed with the ability of flight, it would appear that you would have to walk.
But we will have to walk back to Arabelle.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe let's consider that too when we choose our next mission.
Well, he says, looking through his file, like he's got a lot of files, but in the Cormyr region, it would unfortunately seem that we just have this one forest bandit problem.
How many forest bandits are we talking? 100? 200?
Unfortunately, they did not specify. But Eddie, he sort of he looks at you up and down. I'm sure there are significant numbers to prompt offering this job to such vaunted adventurers as yourselves.
Good, because it'd be a right pain to walk there, and there'd only be like 3 or 4 of them. Not even enough to go round. You get why I'd be disappointed.
You only have to walk back.
And where is this forest bandit problem?
He looks at the scroll again. A place known as the King's Forest.
Oh, we've been there. Yeah.
So the payment for such an adventure is the individual that has put in the job is offered a reward of 500 gold for the successful completion of this job. Unfortunately, as I say, it is the only thing I have available, so if it is to your pleasing, then simply sign on the bottom of the application form.
You sure there's no, sphinx mating to be done or anything?
Oh no, I handed out that very messy job to someone else already.
What proof does the employer want of these bandits? Having been dealt with. Ears? Fingers?
Oh heavens. Nine hells, nothing so vulgar. No. Simply some sort of material proof of the individuals, the bandits in question. Perhaps some identifying clothing, perhaps.
Does it have to be death for the bandits. Could we not just sort of reform them or convince them to take up a new lifestyle as basket weavers in the forest or something like that?
Get them to join the Warhounds.
Yes, exactly.
Perhaps,
Do need more members.
perhaps the person who placed the job board has not specified, but for 500 gold, it would seem that perhaps something had more. And the pit fiend thinks about his words. Permanent was in mind.
So,
Just seems vindictive. I don't know.
so what's the big issue with all these I mean, obviously bandits are bandits, but why has this been called up as a bounty?
Targalon sort of like takes his spectacles off and kind of folds them up and gently kind of holds them between two of his claws. Our patrons never tell us the why, they just tell us the what. We then pass it on to individuals like yourselves who are in need of some good hearty coins for the multiverse, and off you go on your way. Our patrons are happy that the job is completed. You are happy that you have been paid. Everyone carries on.
Yeah, I mean, we do need the money, and we can ask all these questions. The locals, I assume.
Yes, will we get a chance to speak with the employer?
Unfortunately not, no. That is there is a distinct privacy clause with our patrons.
You do know that we're known as the heroes of Hullock, right? I mean, 500. I mean, let me just and then counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Does Jewel count? Jewel counts.
Draw counts.
7.
Oh.
6. Okay, and Emma.
Does Emily
Yeah,
not
7.
count?
There's 7 of us that we need to balance. I feel like for just our time, really, we're worth more than 500 gold.
Do you now? He says.
Slate.
And
Slated.
Slate,
Oh, God.
roll
Oh,
me
no.
a persuasion check.
Oh no.
As you try to convince the pit fiend to pay you more money.
Try not to annoy the Lord of Hell.
Yeah, Balthazar will go, well, 500's pretty good.
Yeah.
The pit fiend kind of gives you a face, like sticks his bottom lip out as best he can, and unfortunately, the payment from the patron has already been received. So it will be the amount that was provided that will be passed on to you.
Yeah, fine. Let's just do it. But only because I've got nothing else to do right now. And then it shake like a very crusty finger, like.
I mean, having said that, if we can argue 4 more gold on top, that would be amazing, because then it can evenly distribute it.
4.
Yeah.
And the pit fiend looks to you and sort of like, you see him rummage around in what you assume is a loincloth, and then he pulls out a stack of 4 coins, and I will add it to the bag.
Thank you.
Upon completion of the job.
Okay.
Badged.
And with that, do we have your approval? He says, and he slides a quill and the scroll towards you.
Yeah, I think Katja sort of looks to everyone. Sort of, they do that sort of nodding sort of like thing, and she walks up, takes the quill, still keeping her distance from the big pit fiend, and scribbles down her name, her and Drul's name, and then steps back quickly, like.
Yeah, he looks to you all expectantly. Are you all signing? And
Yeah. Sure.
Can Balthazar make a check to see if he calls anything on devils in particular?
What specifically is it you're trying to figure out?
Like, would he have? Does he have information that he would remember that pertains to devils?
So
So
Devil's
either religion or an Arcana check or
So yeah, if you roll me an Arcana check.
yeah, let's do that. Normal.
Okay.
So specifically, would he know anything that would make him aware of them, or
So you roll a 17. Do you wish to roll any higher?
I do have that feature. Yeah, sure. Good moment to use it. What is it? Do I add a d4? Is that right?
Yeah, if you click it on your sheet.
Is it on my character?
Yeah.
Rule. Is it
Abilities.
under effects?
No,
No,
features.
spellbook. Yeah. I'm actually not gonna. I'm just gonna roll it separately.
Oh, too
Oh,
late.
well,
I
never
clicked for you. Sorry. Yeah, and then you can click on the D6 in the text.
Here you go. Cool.
Okay. So,
Great.
Balthazar, as you look at Targalon and him sort of like see this fiend's smile as you hand the scroll over, you realize like you had this flashback memory to like you're in some sort of like classroom lecture hall type thing, and you remember seeing this wizard in purple robes stood at the front of this hall giving a lecture, and behind him is this magical illusion of a creature that looks similar to Tarkalon. And this war wizard tutor says, during your time as a war wizard, if you do happen to find yourself coming face to face with one of the lords of the Nine Hells, be very careful with the bargains you make with them.
And Balthazar will shake his head and have a look at the contract and see what it states.
So, yeah, so in total, with your roll of 22, as you have this kind of memory ping back from a past life you had, you very much turn the page over to look at the small print, and in Infernal, not in telepathy, the Pit Fiend says,
Balthazar will take 2 steps back.
And yeah, the Pit Fiend kind of raises an eyebrow, takes his spectacles off and wipes them. And reading through the small print, you don't find anything damning or anything that would put your soul at risk, or kind of bind you to eternal servitude to the Lords of Battle or anything like that. Like this, it's actually like it looks like, if nothing else, this probably wasn't written by Tarkalon. It just, you look up at him and he just seems to love his job. Like getting people to sign contracts, he just seems to love it.
With a shaky hand, Balthazar will do like a B, awkwardly holding the pencil, pen, or quill, or whatever it is.
Give me a moment. New hands.
New hands, who dis?
Okay, so with that, with 6 signatures, maybe a paw print. The scroll goes back to Tarkalon, and he kind of looks it over and very, very good, he says. And as he holds it, the thing erupts into flame and just kind of disappears. With that job now accepted, feel free to speak to one of the gnomes, and they will show you the way out to an appropriate exit.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Demon, sir. Mr. Harkalon, sir.
And he nods, and well, he nods to you and, on your way past, let the next group know they can come up, please.
Will do.
They've left. Catch would like to sort of like, once they're sort of away from Tarkalon's place, Catch is like goes up behind Chiron. She's like, Chiron, can I ask you something?
What?
It was very odd. So we kind of, there was that connection there in the place, right, where he was letting us hear each other's thoughts.
Yep, the pit fiend was like, helping us to all commit. Quite a nice thing. I would, big fan of that. I would.
Yeah, it was fun. It was great and all, but she looks around, makes sure that everyone else is slightly further ahead, and she's like, it's not the first time I've been hearing people's thoughts.
Are you?
I don't know. It's ever since the incident with Galra Braille, since the moment he fell down and became that thing, ever so often I just hear, sounds like I see people talking, but their mouths aren't moving. And I've had this constant headache since the day at the Warhounds.
Well, the headache sounds like a not good thing. Maybe we can get. I think I know something I can get for you for that. But, I mean, hearing people's thoughts, that could probably be quite useful.
I don't know if it is.
I'm
hearing voices. That's the best way to describe it. And just like the other day, I heard Hiram talking about something, and I looked round, and he wasn't talking.
Well, I think we can use this to our advantage. Maybe we could play. How about Balthazar? Can you hear Balthazar's thoughts?
It doesn't work like that. It's just when we're quiet, we're just sitting around or something. It's just been happening so often. Mainly like late at night, after the incident, just when everyone's lying in bed and stuff. It was just, I kept hearing things. I don't have control over it. I don't even know what it is.
So, have you heard voices that you don't know?
I mean, occasionally other people around us. I thought I was going crazy at first, but the more I sort of thought about it, the more I started realizing. It's only since Thingy just did that, I've started putting two and two together.
Well, I don't really know about whatever that thing is. It's a bit not weird. It's good for you. I'm pleased for you, but I also think, well, yes, maybe we should just again keep it under wraps, and then just when the time is right, we'll all kind of surprise people with it, and maybe use it again to our advantage. I think this could work out for us. But when it comes to the headaches, don't worry, we'll get you something for that. I'll figure out something.
Thanks, Chiron.
No problem. We're gonna have lots of fun with this.
And she sort of like, you can hear her say, it's like, maybe I picked the wrong Warhound, but again, you see that her mouth hadn't moved, as she said. She just smiles at you, like, and then walks off.
Chiron just shrugs and kind of picks up and continues walking, whistling a really out of tune whistle.
Okay, that was all. Thanks, Dan.
Okay, so you take the opportunity to kind of gather your possessions and your gear, and then in the main area, you can see that the gnomes are starting to kind of clear away tables and take dirty plates and bowls back to again what you assume to be the kitchen. And yeah, you manage to. Which one of you catches one of the gnomes as they kind of stand around surveying the room?
Zumbo will.
Yeah.
Grab one by the arm and go, "Here, you. We need to get back to Cormyr."
And the gnome kind of. So she looks at you and sort of looks you up and down and do you wish to be shown the exit?
Yeah, that's what I said, innit?
And she kind of gives you this kind of snooty, like purses her lips together and looks you up and down, and then looks to all of you and are you on business? Ah, very well. If you wouldn't mind, just follow me this way, she says, as this this little gnome kind of, as she's padding along in front of you, you notice her look down at what seems to be some sort of wrist-mounted time. It's almost like a little sundial on her wrist. And like the arms spinning around, and she, oh no, and like her pace quickens. Hurry quickly! And as she goes, she's sort of like taking off her pinny and her apron, sort of like wrapping it around her arm. I can't be late for my shift, she says. And yeah, she leads you from the main hall into one of the corridors. You see her sort of like running past all these kind of doors that line the walls. She takes a left, she takes a right, she takes another right, then takes a left. Come on, she says, kind of waving you along. Until finally she stops at this faded blue door. And here's your exit, she says.
Yes. Can we just walk through?
By all means, that's how doors work, she says. And then she's sort of like, she's saying it as she's kind of running off, and she's like, I'm going to be late. And yeah, she leaves you in front of this door.
I guess.
I have this urge to follow that gnome down a rabbit hole.
I guess we open the door, and I'll open the door for everyone and be like, after you then, go on.
So-
Bow down like till my like beard hits the floor, which isn't actually that far down.
So as you open the door and swing it open, on the other side, you find, like, you see out into this what looks to be like a relatively small village. And sort of like off in the like on the edge of the village boundaries, off in the distance, you can see the trees. This is quite clearly a village, by looks of it, in the King's Forest. And like in front of you, as you open the door with his back to you, is this kind of old man in a kind of slightly disheveled innkeeper clothes. As he kind of, it's because it's relatively early morning, you see him just kind of stood on his doorstep, stretching his back out, just sort of like calling out into the morning sky. And as he finishes stretches and surveying his like the scenery around him, he turns around and as he sees 6 people suddenly in his inn.
Sorry.
And you see him, and he looks at you, utterly perplexed. And I just opened. How did you get in? Are you burglars?
No, we're the Warhounds.
But and he kind of looks at you. He gives you this shifty look. You're not wizards and witches, are you?
No.
No, we're ghouls and goblins. Come on, just let us have a drink. Sit down.
Apologies, we did actually use someone of the magical inclination to get here. We weren't quite sure where we're going to land. We can leave now if we are a bother.
After one drink, which we'll pay for, obviously.
Just had a drink.
Give us the.
As you say
that was breakfast drink.
As you say, the use of magic. He magic. Guards! And this innkeeper just kind of runs off into the village. Magic!
Okay, Dan, can I grab him before he runs away?
Tell you what, Badger's going to reach out with her hand, and her tattoo's going to out and grab him.
Okay, so Badger, so Balthazar and Zumbo, you watch as Badger lifts her right arm, and this strange kind of silvery tattoo that runs from her wrist up to her shoulder, like it glows like a whitey silvery light, and then you watch as it almost just kind of disappears from her arm. And Badger, as you kind of smile, because you've done this quite a few times now, you hear this off in the distance as this silvery hand materializes on the chest of the innkeeper, and he just as if he's just run into a wooden post. But then Badger, you watch as the hand keeps growing. Grows an arm, grows an upper arm, it develops a torso, and before long, this full-sized, elven-looking creature materializes with his hand on the innkeeper's chest. And in that like everyone else, you hear noises from the rest of the Warhounds. You all see this figure holding the innkeeper at bay. And Badger, you've never seen this person, but you immediately know.
Yeah.
It is Azarad.
Of course, yeah. She shouts out, "Now don't panic. That's Azarad. He's okay as long as you don't annoy him. So just calm down. Stay. We're friendly. It's all okay."
Badger?
Yes.
Did you meant to do that?
This is new. I will say this. The whole hymn is new. Yes.
You lot have got surprises.
He's been quite quiet lately, but clearly he's stronger now, aren't you, Azarad?
This kind of glowing, translucent Githzerai monk kind of has these glowing yellow eyes fixated on the tavern keeper, who's just like shaking, and his voice is warbling at this spectre that's holding him in place.
Yeah, this wasn't meant to be quite as traumatic for him.
And you hear the innkeeper just kind of go witchcraft, but he's cut off by this voice that comes out of the apparition that says, "Quiet, back to your inn." And you've never heard Azarad speak out loud, and this innkeeper breaks away from Azarad, turns around, runs back towards you, barrels between the six of you, and just runs back into the inn and slams the door behind him.
Now look, and Badger sort of walks up to him if he's still there. She says, "Now look, you're quiet for weeks. We had an agreement that you get to live in here and get stronger again, but then you don't scare people. That was the deal."
So Azarad looks around, and there's a look of confusion on his face as he looks at you. This is very curious. I had not expected it to operate so corporeally.
Well, you did. Congratulations. What are you going to do now?
And he... I must dwell on this, he says. And he fades away. And Balthazar and Zumbo, you watch as the tattoo on her arm kind of regrows back up to her shoulder.
He's always disappearing off before I can get answers out of him.
You know, for a little while, Badger, in the nicest sense possible, I thought you were kind of just having a moment of an invisible friend kind of thing, but it does seem real.
Yeah, real enough to stop us getting a drink.
Yes. Let's go into the inn now. Can we just get one drink and then we can get...
How about we get out this tavern before he, sets fire to burn down the witches? We might go catch her on this place.
So bear in mind, so you're outside. He's just run through you and slammed the door. So you're like trapped on the outside of the tavern. And sort of like as you look around, Slate, you notice that there's a signpost off in the distance that says, "Welcome to Maltha Gargoyles." And you read that, and given that you grew up here, you kind of have a moment as you realize, Maltha Gargoyles is a relatively small village, near the Starwater Road. They abhor magic here because once upon a time, a wizard came along, tried to take over the village with gargoyles, which is how it got its name, and as such, magic is banned. in the village now, and they don't take kindly to outsiders.
Tell you what, team, I think we need to, let's get out of here. They're all really, really, really boring here. Let's just go and find somewhere else with more ale. Maybe the bandits will be, and then just points randomly in a direction. Let's go that way.
Okay.
And starts wandering off that way. Slowly.
So, well, it dawns on you that you are in Mouth of Gargoyles, but you actually have no idea where the bandits might be. All you know is that this is the closest tavern to the location of your job.
Okay. So we need to figure out where the job is. Maybe we could talk to some of these villagers about where the forest bandits are.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, it's sort of like 10. I would say about 10 o'clock-ish in the morning. The sounds of the forest creatures kind of rings through the air, and the sun is kind of creeping through the foliage of the trees surrounding you. It seems like a relatively pleasant, slightly chilly day. And you can see that there are a number of villagers kind of looking over in your direction a bit curiously, because they've just heard the innkeep have a bit of a meltdown. And you see them all kind of leaning towards each other and whispering and looking in your direction. What do you do?
I think Catcher calls over and is like, "Nothing to fear." She then puts on a voice like, "Yeah, a little bit too much in the morning, if you know what I mean."
Are you just kind of shouting that out into the village?
To anyone, to like the group of ladies, she making sure that she finds the old lady gathering and calls it across to them, because that's where the gossip spreads quickest.
Nice. As you look around Hiram, you see a shop, like a small building with a sign hanging above the door. The sign itself is labelled Warhound Woodcarvers, and you immediately that name springs out to you, because you know that the Warhound family, they're famous for exquisite cabinetry and wood carving. A lot of nobles in Suzail use Warhounds for their furnishings, and in fact House Silversword has quite a wide. So your grandmother was a massive fan of Warhound. So if anyone was going to be a bit more accepting of unusual types, it would probably be Warhounds.
Okay, I will mention this to people. If we want to not cause a scene straight away, we could possibly pop into this shop. Is it a shop or is it a house?
Well, so it's
how would you?
It's effectively a house with like an attached workshop, that's effectively been kind of turned into like a shop front home, if you will.
Okay,
so yeah, you can it's attached to in the workshop. You can see that there's like a lumber saw and kind of various woodworking things. It's a very given how popular it is around Suzail, you realise in person it's relatively modest looking workshop. But yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's an option we have.
Yep. That sounds good.
I mean, the only alternative is the other place that seems relatively famous is the Barrel Makers. But yeah, you suspect, Hiram, that you probably won't get as much luck there.
Are there any guards or anybody we'd recognise as kind of whatever passes for law enforcement in this part of the world?
So Zumbo, you're perhaps most adept at noticing where the fuzz are, and yeah, you haven't noticed any purple dragons, any perps, or sort of like any other, like you suspect in a place like this, the guards would be like the hunters, like the ones that are trained to use a bow.
Yeah.
And yeah, no one's come running. So yeah, you think you probably kind of got away with it. So yeah, you heading over to Wyron's?
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
good.
Okay. So in that case, as you kind of begin to head over to the wood carvers to get some directions, let's grab a 10-minute break as you arrive.
Cool.
Sweet.
Dicky.
Cool. I'll see you guys in 10.
See you in a
See you
moment.
then.
In 10.
Welcome back, everyone. So,
Hello.
hello. So you guys have arrived in the small, quiet little village of Maltha Gargoyles, potentially
Sorry.
causing more of a stir by your arrival than this village has seen in maybe years. So Hiram, you have noticed that there is a woodworkers nearby that is famed, that is well loved by the nobility of Suzail for their fine cabinets and other woodwares. And yeah, speaking to one of the speaking to the owner of Wyron's, yeah, he sort of like, well, he looks at you and kind of he reckon, oh, I recognize you from various sales in the past to House Silversword. And when you ask about the local bandit problem, he kind of furrows his brow. He thinks about it, and there's definitely been some trouble recently. But some of the hunters and rangers have been complaining. We've noticed that there's been some more purple dragons that have been posted to the area for sure. Apparently they're on the lookout for what they say are bandits, and if we see any unusual, like any new camps springing up through the forest to let them know. Some of our trackers, they mentioned that there was some strangers camped just up the path about a mile that way. He says, perhaps those are your bandits that you're after.
Oh, thank you. That was quite useful information.
A mile up the road. Easy enough.
And yeah, sort of like Wyron kind of smiles to you, and he asks you how your family are and how things are in Suzail.
Have you not heard any news lately from Suzail?
I heard there's a new king.
Yeah. Okay, so to sum up, my family is fine now. They were almost executed as traitors to the crown, which turned out to be not true. Lucky for us. And then a new king happened, and we were not involved with that at all.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's good that your family got away with it. From what I hear, Rager was pulling all sorts of funny business. So perhaps she had it in for the Silver Swords, eh? Maybe it's a good thing that someone else is on the throne now.
Only time will tell.
And he nods. Well, I'll be down in Suzail soon, so maybe I'll see you House. I'm making a fantastic lounging chair that I think.
My
I think it'll
grandmother
go.
would be definitely interested.
Yes, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing dear Helena again. And he sort of like he finishes off the chit chat and kind of carries on with his work.
I rejoin the group and just go like, well, that was a bit awkward.
So yeah, you now know that there has been some kind of suspicious activity a mile up the road. I mean, as you're kind of heading off in that direction, are there any kind of brief topics of discussion that you have very quickly amongst yourselves?
Actually, sorry, Anton, you go first.
Okay. I think Balthazar will have a quick chat with Hiram. Walking up the road, he'll go. So, this is what you normally do? Like, you get contracts from Pit Fiend and then teleport to, like, inns far away and then go and fight bandits? Is that how it works?
Not quite. The Pit Fiend is definitely new. The teleporting is new in this form. Normally, we keep our eyes and ears open. If anything comes up, we try to help people and try to get paid for it, because nothing is free, unfortunately, in this world. But yeah, adventuring is basically going from one mercenary job to the other, and in between you try to do some good for other people just because.
Oh wow. So like if a dragon asks you to do something, you'll be like, yeah, we'll do it. Or like an ogre, you're like, we'll do it.
I am not going to lie, I think certain people in this group would definitely try that, but that's why there's so many of us. We can all sit down and talk about why that would be a genuinely bad idea, because most dragons would probably try to destroy something or try to use us to destroy something. Every single job we will need to evaluate the risks and the pros and cons, basically.
So what's the risk assessment on this job?
Nothing yet.
Pretty easy, right? Just a few bandits.
It seems fairly straightforward, but we will see more when we
whack them away.
Yes.
If Caron hears any of this, he'll just say, "The risk is we have no money. The reward is we'll get some money."
Okay. I guess
Okay,
that's one
so
way of putting it.
I am going to say, if you need moral advice or any kind of moral guidance, don't go to Chiron or slate any of his forms. Badger is a good call. You can also come to me.
Right.
Katja, if there is no one else around, avoid Emily and Slate at all cost.
Gotcha. So what do I go for Katja for music? Music for Katja?
Definitely.
Wait, and what about the captain? What do I go to him for?
I am not sure yet.
Is he the captain of this group?
No, he's not.
Oh.
What is Zumbo doing at this moment in time?
What would he be doing? That's a good question. Wow. Probably just walking along, giving his sort of sword a few trial swings. He's in a world of his own, just like yeah. Thanks.
Do you have like
some hanging branches.
Yeah.
Do you have an octopus following you?
She is currently sat kind of under Zumbo's hat, so that is resting on top of her tentacles, kind of hanging out over his face.
Aww.
That's her usual traveling position.
I have some theories about that octopus.
Actually, I think Hiram is gonna call Zumbo over. Like, Captain, can we borrow you for a second?
Of course. What's up, Hiram?
What's your thing? We have Badger for moral guidance. I do motivational speeches. Slade does melodrama to the point. Katja is the music. Emily is the bloodthirst. What's your thing?
Well, he seems to think about this for a bit. Well, I always got my dashing good looks, of course. Like, covered in scars.
I mean, some people are into it. No judging there.
I can be pretty persuasive when I want to be. Maybe not as silver-tongued as young Katya here, but used to get in my way one way or another. And I'm pretty sneaky as well. I've done a few jobs that have required me to be, quiet and not get caught.
We have never tried being stealthy. That could be something new we can try.
Oh, it's good fun. It's best to avoid a fair fight if you can knock a chap on the back of the head first before he thinks about starting one.
That's definitely a way of approaching it.
Maybe I could show you how to do it with these bandits.
Tell you what, yeah, let's see if we can do a stealth approach first before everything goes to yes.
Oh, can I try?
Sure, Balthazar.
If you like.
Yeah, I might be good at it. Like
Yeah,
7 foot
you never know.
7
Stranger
foot
things
tall
have happened.
planks.
tall. 7 foot tall, shiny with lights. Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe you stay way back and watch us do it for now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, just learn from example. Watch him first, and then next time you can try because you have seen it before.
Replicate.
So yeah, all of you will have overheard this conversation. Zumbo's certainly not being quiet about it, I don't suspect. With this idea of like a stealth approach, who is volunteering? Badger? Zumbo?
Yeah. So sorry, I assumed I was. Yeah, I assumed I was being counted.
Anyone else?
I'm assuming Badger and Zumbo have a lot higher than 3 in their stealth, so yes, I think it's their thing.
Okay.
I mean,
fine.
3 is not that bad.
No.
Come on, Catcher, live a little.
So Zumbo and Badger, they're going for the stealth mission. Is Catcher joining them?
Oh, why not? Why not?
Okay, cool. Don't worry, absolutely nothing goes wrong with these sorts of plans. Yeah?
Yeah. Can Chiron's be like, I don't know, part of me, why don't we just go in, pretend we're travelers, and just get ambushed, and then, pull a fast one on them and beat them all down again? The old one pow.
Well, that's a good idea too, but Balthazar is trying to learn how to be stealthy.
Yeah, that's true.
Next time we can do the switcheroo.
Well, as you're saying this, Chiron, as you look down, your trained eye starts to see like a number of tracks that have padded backwards and forwards through the area. So you realize but they're not the stereotypical kind of traveling tracks. There are no there's no kind of uniformity to them or any kind of cart tracks or anything like that. So you suspect, with your high survival, that the bandit camp is nearby, and letting the 3 of them know. If you 3 are heading off to towards the camp that Slate's just pointed out to you, if I could take a quick stealth check from the 3 of you.
Right.
Oh boy. What a time to roll a 3. So yeah, it's an 8 for me.
Okay.
For me.
Yeah, 22 for me.
Okay. So, Badger, you have inspiration. Do you wish to use it?
I mean, I guess that might be a good idea, yes. Let's try again. Oh, would you look at that? It's another 8.
Is it okay for me to interject, Dan?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, if I can see that Badger's kind of struggling to, stick to the shadows and move stealthily, I'll turn to pluck Betty off my head and. Is there anything you can do about her? She's making way too much noise. We're gonna get rumbled for sure. And just kind of plonk Betty on Badger's head. Betty will briefly. This is the octopus. Briefly change colour to match the forest background behind her, and then Badger will change colour to match the forest background behind her. So Badger, you're now invisible.
Thank you.
Cool.
That's very cute.
Fair enough. Okay. In which case, yeah, with those rolls and invisibility, you see this sort of like clearing into a very a gap into what appears to be a very, very small clearing, and with your stealth rolls, let's move you across.
Ooh.
You find this small camp, the small collection of 4 tents. But as you look around and sort of like peer out of your, like as you creep in, you notice that the bandits are all wearing purple dragon gear. For the rest of you, I'll drop you in down here so you can see what's up.
Oh boy.
But yeah, only you three, see this. And you notice that these tabards are slightly different to the normal purple dragon affair. Like they haven't got the regiment colours on them. They seem to be like, you can see one figure has a purple tabard, but there's a red line across the tabard. You've never seen those before. And as you kind of peer in, 16, 15, and Zumbo is 15. Okay, between your passive perceptions, you hear a loud scratching coming from this tent over here.
Which one? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Gosh.
What do you do?
Are there any signs of life or what attacked these people?
Give me a if you give me a survival check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so on a roll of a 16, this purple dragon closest to you, so like this one here, you notice that there are a number of clean, deliberate slashes that seem to have kind of cloven through this purple dragon's armor. They're not wearing the same kind of heavier armor that you might have seen them wearing in, say, Suzail. But yeah, very, very deliberate slashes. So yeah, whatever killed them quickly and efficiently.
Well, this doesn't look like bandits to me.
Oh, these look like purple dragons, but not.
I think maybe, Zumbo, did you mean it doesn't look like bandits did this?
Yeah, far too clean. These look like professionals.
I agree. Did you say we heard somebody in the tent off to the...
You heard a scratching.
A scratching. Okay, so Badger is going to start moving as stealthily as she can around the outside. The sort of... Do you see where my mouse is at the moment? She's going to move that sort of way.
Okay, give me another stealth roll with... Actually, okay, you're stealthing and you're invisible, so we'll bear that in mind.
All right.
Yeah, that's cool. Invisible. So yeah, as you start heading round, like behind that tent, Catcher, what are you doing?
I imagine she's going to stick near Zumbo. Just see what Zumbo does first, and then sort of stick near him.
Okay. What does Zumbo do?
Yeah, I think Zumbo would be following Badger. Doing his best to follow Badger. He can't actually see her, but
well, she's not being that stealthy, so you can probably see the twigs breaking and stuff under her foot.
So, Badger, as you kind of round like the tent, you can see that there's like there's a body of one of these purple dragons kind of lying in the tent, and now that you're closer, you realize that there are parts of him, you assume, that appear to have been eaten, but not with a large kind of fanged mouth. They appear to be almost like a singular point scrape, if you will. And you hear from the tent, "Whoo!"
Oh no.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. She goes back to Zumbo, and Katya says, "There's an owl eating people in the tent."
Owl? Why are we scared of an owl?
It's just really weird.
Owls don't eat people.
Are you sure?
Well, they eat mice and things, like small game. Someone at the troop used to have an owl, part of their show, and yeah, it just eats mice and shrew. Not people. I mean, bites people, but it doesn't eat people.
Maybe it's a very big owl.
Dire owl.
Should we go and get the others, or should we carry on, have a look?
Well, you can always poke your head in. It's not like it's going to be able to see you.
I mean, maybe you can poke your head in.
Okay, so yes, you hear another low grumbling hoot coming from the tent.
Yeah, before Badger sticks her head in the tent, do you think she has any idea what this could be, or does she just think it's a big owl?
I mean, given the size of the gouges, roll me a nature check, and
I rolled an 18.
you, especially within the forests of Semberholm, you have come across more than enough owlbears in your time to know that in that tent is a very large, very grumpy, four-legged beast with a head of an owl and the temper of a bear.
The Wild Wanderer, I think we're in trouble.
As you lot say that, there's a plodding from the bushes as a large kind of furred beast kind of lumbers out from behind some bushes and like hasn't noticed you and just kind of looks down and starts munching on the purple dragon at the far end.
Oh boy.
Sorry, did you say third?
Yeah.
Bird, yeah.
Can we see it even? I can't see a creature. I think maybe our line of sight's a bit obscured by all the tents.
Yeah, I can
the
see
edge
it.
of it there.
Oh, I can't. I just can't see it.
Badger, you would have heard it for sure.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
I'll whisper to Badger and Katya. Oh, that is a big owl, to be fair. Maybe we should get the others.
Let's get the others. I agree.
Yeah. Let's definitely get out of here and just never come back. I mean, let's get the others.
Are you guys sneaking away?
Sneak away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so all of you, as you attempt to sneak away, remember, Badger, you get
Can I have advantage?
a no.
Cool.
Yeah, I think technically that's not how stealth.
Oh wow.
What did it say?
Well, it wasn't an 8 this time. It was a 6.
So, go on, Anton.
Yeah, I was just remembering the rules for invisibility, which are super, super weird. And actually, invisibility doesn't give you advantage on stealth. As per the book. It's like, it gives people disadvantage to spot you, or something like that. It's like...
Well, at this point, it doesn't particularly matter, because as you all start, we should head back. You watch as like the tent starts rough. Like from in the tent, you just hear. Like you hear a sniffing sound, and then from the bottom, like a shape presses against the side of the tent, and like from just underneath, boop, like from under the tent, this owl's head just emerges from under the canvas and just sort of like looks in your direction, Badger, and sort of like is peering around, and you can see its little nostrils at the top of its beak just kind of flaring slightly. Zumbo and Catcher, you're out of line of sight enough that you managed to sneak away. But yeah, Badger, what do you do as it starts like plodding over to you?
Probably go run and start running away.
Okay, so
charging in the opposite direction. Maybe I jump up into the trees and start jumping along at branch level.
Right, okay, so in which case, Badger, as you shout, run! Like this owlbear just kind of and like unpegs the tent as it rears up at the noise, and like the other one and sort of like looks over, and you just
God.
Badger, you watch as this purple dragon that it had in its beak just kind of gets flung against the side of the tent and just kind of bounces off. Everyone, we're gonna so everyone roll me some initiative.
Okay. What was that?
Sorry.
God damn it. Like, this is like classic cleric rolls all over again.
I like the idea that as Badger, Katya, and Zumbo kind of get back into eyesight of the others, Zumbo is just holding his hat on running. The stealth mission is over! The stealth mission is over!
No, Neath, you think?
As that happens, like
Balthazar.
if there's no owl bear in sight at the time, and they're just running back saying the stealth mission is over, but like, I guess it's time to pretend to be weary travelers and try and do that and like turn into a thing.
Right. So, Catcher, as you hear Badger shout, run! It's your turn first. Everyone else, you will, like, you're close enough that you'll be able to arrive soon, but it'll take you a round to get here. So, Catcher, what do you do?
How far away are they exactly?
By your guesstimation, they are about 25 foot away.
The allies or the owlbears?
Oh, the owlbears are about the
owlbears are 25 feet.
Yeah, they are about 100 feet away.
Okay, never mind. Oh dear. In that case, she looks over her shoulder at Badger climbing up the tree.
I'm not actually climbing up the tree. I haven't had a chance to do anything yet.
You're next. Well, she's Zumbo's next, but yeah. Do you know what? Catcher sort of looks around to where she approximates Badger to be, and she basically knows that you'll get us out of this by casting haste on you.
Oh jeez. On me? Oh no.
Okay.
That means, this extra...
Yeah.
Right. So, Badger, as you you shout, run! And as your words become faster and higher pitched, and you are hasted.
Thanks.
And with my bonus action, let's just stack up the Badger Pain train by also chucking you a Bardic Inspiration.
What are you doing? We're running!
There's only so much running we can do before this thing catches us. So it's best to be prepared. Good luck!
Technically, Badger is now super fast, so she can just go.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing. You've just made it easier for me to abandon you, and I'm not going to do that.
What's the old saying? You don't need to be the fastest one running. You just need to outrun everyone else. I've just
Pace
helped you.
yourself. I can run so far already. I can run like 120 feet in a turn if I want to.
Right, Zumbo. What
Yeah.
do you do?
So, looking back over his shoulder as he's running, he's going to go, Betty, do something! And immediately, blobs of what looks like water appear in Zumbo's hands. And he just kind of goes, ugh! Tries to fling them away from him towards the owlbear.
Okay.
Which will be one of those.
Ooh.
Okie dokie. So yeah, this owlbear has just like lifted up the whole tent and kind of flung it backwards as it's reared up. And as you hurl this globule of water, the owlbear like roars in anger at you as it hits it in the snout, like hits on the beak.
I suppose it'd be another one as well. Because it's 2 beams, isn't it?
Yep.
Cool.
And they both hit. So it takes 15 damage.
It's also knocked back 20 feet.
Whoa, okay. So,
Oh.
yeah, Catcher and Badger, you watch as these 2 bolts hit the owlbear and it is blown backwards. 1, 2,
It is?
collides,
Oh, wow.
collides with another owlbear, and there's like angry shouts and roars. The tent that it was in is just completely blown away. So we'll just remove the walls there, and you can see that the 2 owlbears are just kind of clomped on one another, roaring angrily.
Meanwhile, Zumbo's just looking down at his hands in horror, just trying to shake the water off them. And come on, let's go.
Anything else, Zumbo?
He's just gonna leg it.
Okay. Hiram, you've just heard run, and like Catcher shouting and Zumbo going, let's go. And if you wish, you can spend your turn getting onto the map.
Yeah, I think that's... Seeing how Hiram can't see Badger, he will try to get closer to them.
Okay, cool. In which case, you can plonk yourself somewhere in that kind of corner, like along the corner of this map.
Okay.
In the clearing or so on and so forth. So basically it's a dash to get there. You have a bonus action if you want it.
Not... Unfortunately, I can't see anything, so I'm not sure. Tell you what, let's help here a bit.
So what's Hiram thinking?
How far away is Badger, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
I don't think you can see her. Yeah, no, you can hear her shouting, but you can't see her for the... Well, presumably for the tents, but also she's invisible.
Oh, I forgot about the invisibility. Oh, damn. Well...
you can,
in that
however,
case-
see Zumbo and Catcher.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not much I can do for them. Oh, they're almost away, so it's fine. I think I'm just going to prepare for trouble, and I'm going to cast Divine Favor on myself.
Okay, cool. Is Drool running to join the fight?
Draw's going to firstly bash into Emily to try and get her to jump on. Then he's going to run in.
Okay. Is Emily going to mount Drool?
But yeah.
Okay, cool. So Emily and Drool. Carl, if you pop Drool on the edge of the map, roughly where you think he's going to come on, and then Emily will be joining him. Badger.
I guess we're not running then. I guess probably the best thing Badger can do is attack them, I guess.
Okay.
Or if it looks like we're standing and fighting. So
That
yeah,
will drop your invisibility if that makes a difference.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. Given that I've been hastened, it feels like a bit of a waste not to
Sure.
use that. So,
So bear in mind that tent is gone.
that's all right. That's all right. So I'm probably going to stop there and do a bit of my long-range fiery fists at the
Okay.
the one closest to me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
You probably have advantage on the roll.
Do you reckon?
Because you're invisible.
For the first one, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I become uninvisible when I attack, though, don't I?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. Advantage on the first one. It's a crit.
Nice.
Okay.
Let's just do. Okay. Well, do you want me to roll the damage now, or can I just keep?
Yeah, you can roll it.
Might as well.
Roll it now.
15 fiery damage.
Okay, so as you jump over where the tent used to be, and as your body kind of materializes back into reality, the flame, like the licking around from the flames on your wrist, the gout of fire hits the soft kind of underbelly, the unprotected underbelly of the owlbear, scorching it heavily, and it hoots in pain.
Okie doke. So we're gonna go again.
Yeah.
So our second attack is a normal hit for 23, which is only 6 fiery damage.
Okay.
And how's he
Owlbear
looking?
hits again.
How's he
Looks like a grumpy, burnt owlbear.
All right then, fine. Let's flurry of blows.
You've still got one more attack, by the way.
Oh shoot! So I do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's have one more attack. It's only a 12.
Okay, so the owlbear, like the third flame, as the owlbear's kind of rolling, just kind of glances off it.
Okay,
just.
that's fine. That is fine. So
And
now
you have Bardic as well, if you.
I do have Bardic. That's actually quite a good idea. What's Bardic at the moment?
It's D8.
D8. Let's roll a D8 then. So that's 8. So that...
Okay, that's 20. Yeah, that hits.
All right, cool. 8 fiery damage.
Okay,
for our
so
friend.
as it rolls out the way, you plan ahead and you catch it a third time as it.
Okay, and now we're going to flurry of blows.
Okay.
So that's another 2 hits. 15. That's 8. How's he looking?
Yep,
okay. Okay.
It's a slightly quieter hoot.
Let's go again. That's only a 10. I missed.
Okay. Yeah. So
All right.
you. This little gnome just appears out of nowhere, and then just 4 gouts of flame and just fly out of this owlbear that just kind of goes up a bit. The owlbear has to rolls around frantically, and then when you're finished and you watch as this thing it's blackened. The majority of the fur is gone, and this thing just.
Okay. And now I'm going to use the rest of my movement to, I reckon, jump up onto this tent over here.
Yeah.
The attempted token movement collides with at least one wall. Can you help me, please, Dan? Please help. Hooray. Thank you.
Cool. There you go.
Thanks.
So you jump onto the tent and it bows slightly under your weight, but you're light enough that it doesn't collapse.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else, Badger?
Just, I've got my stick ready position.
Okay. Slate, if you want to spend your dash, you can get onto the map. Or you're muted.
Yes, please.
Okie dokie. So yeah, if you plonk yourself somewhere near the other 3, like Drew, Emily, or Hiram.
Oops, 1 second. Okay.
Go. Next up, Emily. Emily comes bounding in on Droolback.
Mm-hmm.
What can you see?
Not.
No, so from Drool Square, you can hear some roaring. You can see that Badger's on, balancing on a tent. She's talking real fast. You can just about make out this kind of creature off in the distance.
Okay, I think they are going to start heading towards the creature over here.
Uh-huh.
So I can't. I think they can do like somewhere here.
Yeah.
I'll move draw, unfortunately.
That's fine. Well, draw, you wouldn't be able to... So this would be you jumping off draw and running around on your own. So if you want to stay on draw back, then probably wait for him to...
Actually, there is a point there. I think Emily jumps off, is about to start running towards danger, and then for a second she freezes. And then she runs back to draw.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, and she runs back. Does she do anything else?
No, but she's clutching at her crossbow quite tightly.
Okay. All right. In which case, this owlbear rights itself, and with a loud comes bounding out from behind the tent. Seeing you up on the top of the tent, it just leaps at you, Badger.
Oh my god.
Okay, so it makes a multi-attack as it leaps. First, it swings at you with one of its claws. For 14.
Miss.
And then it snaps at you with its beak.
That hits.
Okay. So the claw slashes through the canvas, and the tent kind of wobbles under its weight. Which means you can't quite get away as it clamps down on you for 13 damage with its beak.
Okay. Fair enough.
And Balthazar.
How much did it hit you by the way, Julia?
By 1.
By 1.
Because my AC is 20 now.
With the haste. Well, in that case, because I can see the beastie.
Hey.
But you need to roll, it misses.
Hey,
Okay.
Thank you.
In which case, put those
Put
13
them
back.
Yep.
Yeah. So as the beak comes for you, you manage to just jump off in time as it snaps at where your leg was a moment ago.
Excellent.
Balthazar.
Balthazar will see Hiram run off to join the rest of the party and go, wait, hey, don't leave me. And he'll sprint after Hiram.
Okay. In which case,
That's
plug
my
yourself somewhere on the map.
Yeah, I'll go here.
Okie dokie. So the very, very badly burnt owlbear, seeing, picks itself up, realizing it's missing most of its fur, and decides it's had enough, and runs off into the forest, hooting angrily as it goes. So we can remove that combatant. Next up is Catcher.
Catcher is going to 5, 10. Go and join the everyone else because she's not suicidal. Turns around, obviously sees the owlbear attacking Badger, and she attacks it with a vicious mockery as she tries to damage its ability to think.
Okay. So as you spit out your magical words, it rolls a 3.
Takes 3 psychic damage and it has disadvantage on its next attack.
Ooh.
Okay. And the owlbear kind of shakes its big fuzzy head from side to side as the words kind of start to sink in.
Cool.
And That's it.
That'll be all, yeah.
Okay, Zumbo.
Okay. Looking up and seeing Badger perched on top of the tent in front of him, he's gonna. Badger, how'd you get up there? Pull out his rapier and run round. So, is diagonal the same movement?
We do alternating. So if you use the ruler to measure it out, it will calculate.
Yeah. So
diagonals for you.
I wanted to get to there, so it's going to be 20 feet of movement to get.
Yeah.
There, basically.
To there. Yeah. Oh,
to the one to next to the owlbear.
Oh. Like that, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Cool,
the
cool.
plan. Okay. So I'll just cool. Yeah. So he's going to run around, see this thing snapping a badger, and it's going to give a sort of impressive flourish as he tries to stab at it. Actually,
Hey.
I'd go to there, just so I'm not too close to Badger.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, as you stab at the owlbear, it slides through its thick, ruddy fur, and it as you pierce its skin.
Great. I'll also get that.
Okay, so yeah, as you kind of appear from round its side, catching it slightly unawares, bot, and it, and yeah, its hind flank starts crackling with energy.
Cool. And I'm going to use the sort of distraction caused by my blade work to just jump back a bit, out of its immediate reach. Meanwhile, Betty is still on Badger's head, where I left her, and is kind of like angrily crashing her tentacles in the general direction of the owlbear, causing a small watery tentacle. Well, I'll say small, probably about 4 or 5 feet high, to just appear behind the owlbear, just there.
Okay. So what does that do? Sorry.
So it's the tentacle of the deeps. So we've made a token for it, didn't we? I can't remember how I summoned it, but
so actually, so Badger, as you kind of skip out the way, like the world's going in slow motion for you because of the haste. So you've just seen like Zumbo, like running in slow motion with this shit-eating grin on his face as he lunges at the owlbear. But then you also watch as this octopus on your head starts waving wildly, and from the ground a tentacle sprouts and starts waving around behind the owlbear.
That's so cool.
Matt, if you roll to hit, I don't think that's rolled to hit roll.
Okay.
It's a melee spell attack.
It'll be just it'll be D20 plus 3, I guess. So that's my spell attack.
Yeah. Spell book. Yes, that sounds about right.
So I still need to Foundry.
Sorry, it'd be plus 5 because of your proficiency.
Oh yeah.
Wait, plus 6.
Plus 6
because of your proficiency.
So D20 plus 6. Okay.
Cool, perfect. And this tentacle sprouts out of the ground and whips at the back of the owlbear for 13 damage. Is that?
I think it's just the 4 actually. I'm not sure what the 13 is. Yeah, it's just 4.
Oh, okay. So we can fix that. Cool. Yeah. So it slaps at the owlbear, and you notice that it starts to, like the owlbear starts to move a bit slower than it was before. Anything else, Zumbo?
Nope, that's good.
Okay. So Hiram, you've just seen a string of very odd things happen in quick succession.
Honestly, used to it.
So what? Yeah, what do you
Hiram
do?
is going to turn around and say to Balthazar and Emily, stay behind, attack it from a distance, and then go for it. And he can
Okay.
get all the way here, front of the tent.
Yeah.
And that puts me in distance with this owlbear, and I would like to aim a sword at it.
Yeah, no
What
worries.
First attack.
So as you swing the blade of House Silver Sword, yeah, you cut into the side of the owlbear.
So damage is that plus a d4. In favor. 16 damage on the first attack.
Okay. And then another 2.
That is
The
14 hits.
and the second cut lands.
Okay.
13. Okay. For 15.
15. And this with the second one, I'm also going to do Divine Smite.
Okay.
Extra 6 damage.
Okay.
If
So
it makes a
as
difference.
you run in. So as you run in, you see this tentacle sort of like wrap round the leg of the owlbear, and and there's seawater sloshing around at the base of the tentacle. But the owlbear is distracted enough that you manage to run in, and with one wide sweep, you rake it across the chest, and as it rears up, you manage to, like, your sword glows as you ram it up through the torso of the beast, as it kind of lands on its back in a big bloody clump.
Ooh.
And as you put your foot on it and pull your sword free, the camp is quiet except for your panting and breathing.
Balthazar, just before, will run up to Hiram and go, Hiram! Ah! With his staff in the air and go, oh, it's dead?
It
Are you...
is, but if you want to cast your spell on it anyway, just so it doesn't go to waste. Also, I kind of want to see what you can do.
What do you mean cast a spell?
Just to make sure.
But isn't that what the staff is for?
No, it's just a stick.
Oh,
I don't know. The gnomes gave it to me. They said they found it with me.
okay. In that case, if you were about to just hit this thing over the head, your stance is not the best. And he goes up to you and goes like, okay, so with a stick, this is how you should stand. This is where your leg goes.
Balthazar holding one end of it, like, over his head, like.
Yeah, it's not a club.
While all this is going on, Badger's just breathing heavily on top of the tent, and then she faints and just falls gently off the tent onto the grass.
Okay.
Badger sort of goes over to Badger like, oh god, gods. Badger, you okay?
Yes. Did we win?
We did.
Good.
And she goes to sleep.
Okay. So as Badger has a little lie down, the rest of you see what's happened. Like, see this small camp for the first time, and of, like, you all recognize them as purple dragons. But Hiram, it's you that notices, especially given that you've spoken to the Silver Swords when they came up for Emily's resurrection, that these are all, like, the tabars with the red stripe. These are Raedran separatists. I suppose, and you suppose to some that would mean the same thing as bandits.
Oh. Hell. Okay, I definitely share this with the group.
Okay. So as you're saying this, Zumbo, there is a tentacle just idly lolling about. Does it stay there, or do you, like?
No, I think
But
as soon as Betty kind of jumps back onto my hat after Badger's fallen off, and then the tentacle disappears.
Balthazar tries to fight it before it goes away. Go back! Back!
Yeah, remember, the leg goes here. You hold it like this.
Back!
Ah.
Okay, so as Balthazar starts to wait, like you see Balthazar like, runs over to this tentacle and sort of like swings a stick at it, just kind of glances off the slippery hide of it, as the tentacle kind of slicks back into the ground. And Balthazar, you successfully killed this tentacle.
I got it!
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, everyone good.
And sort of like whilst that's happening, Hiram, you're keenly aware that Emily has just kind of like sidled up to you and has kind of grabbed a handful of like your trouser, like some fabric that's like your cloak. She's kind of gripping onto your cloak, looking around.
I think I will step closer and just put a hand on her shoulder. Just keep her near me.
Okay. So what does everyone do at the sight of these 5 dead Radrons? One of them half-eaten.
Yeah.
Oh God! Oh! Ah! Balthazar walks away.
Can we look in the tents to see if there's any kind of like interesting information or anything?
Yeah.
You can indeed. Yeah. So, is anyone else having a little snoop around?
Yeah, Zumbo will.
Yeah, Catcher firstly make sure Badger's okay, and then
She's
go for
fine.
a super.
She's fine.
Yeah, she'll still make sure you're okay. Just
Thank
prop
you.
you up against the tent.
Oh.
Leave Drawl nearby, sort of just tucks it around to have his own little nap because exhausting that little run for him.
Oh.
Chubby little legs.
Okay, so Badger's having a little sleep. So Slate and Zumbo, Catcher's tending to Badger.
Well, after she's down, I'll look around.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Balthazar?
Is trying to avoid looking at any of the corpses, but he's surrounded by them, so he's just like, just like, shuffling away
Like,
from
the direction that Hiram is stood in, sort of like in front of this tent. There doesn't appear to be any corpses. There is, however, a little orange octopus that just kind of peers at you for a moment and then lifts its tentacles up and waves them slightly at you.
Balthazar will poke it with one finger. What are you?
As you prod the octopus, everyone else, roll me an investigation check.
Oh.
21.
Okay. So Zumbo, you go presumably in search of loot.
Yeah. Gold, booze.
I'm assuming so does Slate. So Catcher, as you kind of rummage around, you can see that the Radrons haven't really been here all that long. When you so actually Zumbo, as you head up there, Catcher, in one of the tents you find like a number of communication scrolls, like missives, and one of them has what appears to be a hastily sketched out map with a small cross on it.
Catcher sort of looks at the missives quickly before then holding up. So she's looking at the missives as she holds up the map. It's like, map!
Okay, and as you shout out map, Zumbo, I don't know, are you just looking for loot, or like are you actively going through people's pockets, or what?
I'll be going through people's pockets. I'll do like, whatever, like a quick superstitious sign against bad luck for looting the dead is amongst sailors, and then.
Okay, so yeah, it's when you get to this one female Radron soldier here. You look at her and you can't help but kind of grimace slightly at what appears to be a very precise, like a cut, a wound on her back, probably the width of a sword, and it seems to have just gone straight down through her. And yeah, looking at the stains in the grass, it seems like she was trying to crawl away, and then whatever got her. But as you look around, you notice that she has like a scroll case on her belt that is open and empty. Yeah, it just dawns on you that like that's a very precise thrust into her spine.
And not necessarily something an owlbear would, an animal would be able to do.
Certainly not owlbear, no.
Okay. Alrighty.
And yeah, you hear Katja shout out, "Merp!"
Alright, at that I'll plod back to join them and tell them about what I've found as well.
Okay. At the cry of "Merp!" Badger, you're feeling a bit more perky. And yeah, Katja, as you come out with this map, there's the other kind of scrolls wrapped with it. The communications seem to insinuate that, refer to that this map seems to be the location of base.
Can find the rest of our bandits where X marks the spot.
You look at it and like the map's got some landmarks kind of scrawled on it rather crudely. Those of you who want to inspect it can see if you can figure out where this map, because this effectively is this, it's just landmarks and then a cross. But yeah, if any of you want to try to use your local geography to figure it out, Slate. Yeah. Anyone else?
For sure. Obviously, it's
I imagine Katja is going to be gesturing more towards Slate.
Yeah, Badger will have a look. She likes forests.
Yeah, I have got proficiency with navigator's tools. I don't know, it's not quite the same, but might help, potentially.
Yeah, maybe if someone reads it, if it's not very well done, then Slate could use their experience of the area to help.
Happy to assist Slate in deciphering it.
Cool.
Well, so are there any other Balthazar, are you still staunchly looking away from the corpses, or?
Yeah, not helping.
Fair. Okay, so I hear a Badger, a Slate, and a Zumbo who are inspecting the map.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's say investigation.
Would this be with advantage?
You have advantage because this is home turf.
11.
Not enough blue on this map.
I see your problem. This is a map of land.
You're wondering what all these teeny tiny little islands drawn on this this
Where's the part
vast
that
sea.
Where's the part that says there will be dragons here?
Exactly.
Here be dragons.
There's no reading.
Okay, so Slate, as you kind of peer at it, so you're on, you're a mile outside of the mouth of Gargoyles. Judging by the line which you assume to be the river, the Starwater River that runs through the King's Forest, you realise that if you were to follow the river north, you would reach this camp. Like it's not too far away.
Okay, well, it seems that it's not too far away. Is everyone feeling up to scratch? I mean, Badger, I know you've had a good rest, but is anyone hurt or did anyone get hurt by those things before we got there? No?
Oh,
I
good.
don't think so, no.
No, I think we it was dealt with very well, so.
Flawless victory.
Hang on a minute. Listen here. You're suggesting that we waltz into the camp of a bunch of people loyal to the queen that you helped dethrone, right? That's what you're suggesting.
Yeah?
You reckon they'll be pleased to see you, do you?
Well, we don't have to tell them who we are straight away.
I would say I'm more worried about the fact that they were called bandits, even when they clearly are not.
Probably because, well,
It's clearly a Tory voting area, isn't it?
I mean, I'm not normally the biggest fan of waltzing into a Purple Dragon camp at the best of times, but when you've already managed to piss them off before you get there.
As you're kind of discussing this amongst yourselves, Badger, you've got the highest passive perception. You hear the sounds of footsteps approaching in the distance, like armored footsteps. And then quite soon after, Catcher and Slate, you hear them too.
We have to make a decision quickly. There are people coming in armor. Maybe soldiers. Or more purple dragons.
Hide? Let's go hide?
Maybe.
Let's
go.
Until we see what's going on.
Let's hide.
Okay.
Or
Let's heroically hide.
Or head off in the direction that we said we were going to go, perhaps, to find the other purple dragons on the map.
Yeah, I mean, very quickly, I personally wouldn't mind seeing the people who killed them coming back, or if it's more purple dragons. Because either way, we can get some answers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, so are you waiting or are you hiding?
Shall we hide?
Hide, yeah, hide.
Yeah.
We can hide over here behind these this shrubbery.
The shrubbery?
And the shrubbery.
Big old stealth check for everyone.
Oh, come on.
Oh, finally.
It's fine because there's a group DC that I can keep an eye on.
Oh, come on.
Do I?
No.
No, we failed it.
I might have disadvantage. I can't remember.
Oh,
what armor I have.
Balthazar, no.
I'm gonna go with disadvantage because I don't know.
I think you do have disadvantage, to be fair.
Still better than.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a boss though.
Okay, so as you all sort of like bundle over behind the tents, sort of like into the bushes off to the side, you hear the sounds of footsteps getting closer and closer, and yeah, from where you, so as you you're all kind of peering out the bushes to varying levels of success.
Oh, I do actually have that.
Excuse me?
does have password trace, but in the heat of the moment, you see, like, into the clearing comes a number of fully armored purple dragons, and they sort of like they approach the little enclosure and then they slow down. You hear them sort of like draw swords and kind of heft up spears as they look around, and amongst them is what appears to be a more well decorated purple dragon.
Dan,
That
can I
stands.
just ask?
Yes.
These purple dragons, are they purple dragons or are they Rager purple dragons?
So from where you're sat, you realise that they don't have the red stripe across their tunics. Their tabards, which are purple tabards, obviously, they're lined with a grey stripe that denote them as 8th Company, the 8th Regiment. And as they approach in, you notice this kind of more important looking individual amongst them, and sort of like he scans the area with his sword drawn and looks to his other dragons and spread out. See what's happened here. Make sure they're see if there are any survivors, he says. And dutifully, the purple dragons kind of fan out and start investigating the various corpses. As this chap kind of approaches the half-eaten one, he just stops and looks at you lot. Like you try to hide, like as you try to shy away, but yeah, he just primarily he sees Emily's face, just looking at him through a little hole in the bush.
Do we do something stupid?
And
Always.
yeah, the blade stops and sort of like looks at Emily, and then very quickly realizes that there's another 6 of you hiding in the trees, like hiding in the bushes, and he sort of looks from side to side, straightens up, and Lionel, we're not alone, he says.
Oh, thank goodness you saved us!
And
then dramatically faints.
As Chiron?
Yes.
so as the armor, as the Lionar, steps forward and looks at you, what you see is a darker skinned man, with a shaved head, a well groomed, groomed stubble, a highly polished breastplate marked with grey insignia of the 8th Regiment. The purple cloak that hangs from his armor flutters gently in the breeze. He holds his hand on a sword covered with what appear to be dwarven runes on the handle. And yeah, he looks at you from sort of like dark. Looks to you with his big dark brown eyes. And you notice there's a 3-prong, like a 3-claw scar down his left cheek. And as he sees you all, he kind of stands up straight and declares, he's also stood in front of it. Like, he looks at the owlbear that he's just stepped round. And then he looks to you and says, Lionar Caven Tor of the 8th Regiment, if you don't mind, I would like to have a word with you. And with that, we shall call it there.
Ooh.
Hey.
Elsewhere in Cormyr, King Ezered stands in his war room, leaning on the edge of the lush mahogany table, upon which stands a map of Cormyr covered in a number of tokens denoting his loyalist forces and the Radran separatists. He looks to the number of separatist he looks at one of his advisors as one of the war councillors places more separatist tokens in and around the King's Forest, and the king clenches on his back teeth. His aide looks to him and, don't worry, my lord. Don't worry, your highness. We actively have the 8th Regiment flushing them out. We'll find their base and we'll deal with them. And the king looks to the aide and nods solemnly, and then looks up to the balcony and smiles at the dark-haired woman in a black and yellow dress as she smiles down and gives him a little wave. And Ezered looks back down and looks at the tokens. Make sure you do, he says. All of them.
Told you we should have joined the Stormcloaks. That's what we should have done.
Yeah. We'll be not too late.
Congratulations on completing session 2. Woo! Cool.
Awesome.
You say you should have joined the Stormcloaks, but then the whole Horde of Semi-Horde is going to just swoop in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So at this point, the only person we care about is Magnus, and apparently he's gonna die anyway.
Be
Don't
giblets.
know where he is. He's in Suzelle, living the good life.
Turn to
Yeah, with a
dust.
bracelet that's going to
For
murderize
now.
him.
I love how it's probably a joke Dan came up with in the moment, and it's going to turn up into a major plot point of Arc 2.
A big reunion after countless adventures. We meet up with Magnus, and he turns into tiny pieces.
Right in front of us.
He's just missing an arm. It's like, yep.
Oh,
What was
boy.
that TV show? It was Dark on Netflix. Just there's one character, he had this injury, and just every season it never got explained. Imagine that would be like Magnus. It would be like he's missing his arm, but Magnus, what happened to you? Well, what happened is, wait, hold on a second. We have to do this really important thing later.
Wow.
Right. Thank you all for coming along. I guess I will see you all next week.
See you next week.
Right. See ya.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Cormyr Echoes of War. Join us next time to find out whether Caven Tor is a friend or foe. If you enjoyed this session, please let us know your favourite part down in the comments below, and don't forget to like the video. We release new Cormyr episodes every Sunday, but in the meantime, click down here to watch another video, or click down there to subscribe to the Explorers of Elsewhere channel. And until next time, may the realms endure.